What's going on, everybody? Today I've got just a really quick non-spoiler discussion for the anime 7 Seeds. This is a Netflix exclusive and it came out very recently on the Netflix, so 2019, and it is an adaptation of a completed 35-volume long 2001 manga. Now, what stood out to me about 7 Seeds was that it is a survival anime, and how many survival animes do we have? I'm not talking about death games or any sort of battle royale sort of anime. I'm just talking about people in the wilderness out with their own wits, left to their own devices, and trying to survive together. I love stories like that. I love Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, one of my favorite games of all time. I love that show Survivor, man. They used to come on Discovery Channel back when I used to watch a lot of TV. I love the movie Castaway, and there's one that a lot of people don't know about. If you're into survival stories, check out Castaway on the Moon. It is a South Korean movie, and it is outstanding. It's a bit of a comedy, but it's also got a little bit of romance and dramatic elements in it as well. It's a pretty good movie, and nobody ever talks about that. Go ahead and check it out. So getting into the story of 7 Seeds, honestly, my hands are a bit tied here because they get into spoilers fairly early on within the story, so there's not really a lot that I can say, aside from the fact that you've got this group of characters who randomly wake up in this mysterious jungle-like environment, and all of these characters have the modern-day equivalent of survival skills. Like, how much do you know about survival? That's basically them right there. They don't really know a whole lot. I mean, some of them do, but some of them don't. They all have a different set of skills, and then you've got the fact that the story is not set in modern day time. So they have modern logic of survival, but yet they've got these bugs that can impale people, and they've got flesh-eating bacteria, and they've got all sorts of stuff out there which is totally alien to them, and they've got to contend with that and survive. But at the same time, there's a big mystery about the characters within the group, because some of them are very selfless and will sacrifice themselves in order to save someone else, and others will just sacrifice you in order to save themselves. So there's a big mystery here about that. You don't know what everyone's motives are, and some people will try and purposefully get somebody killed in order to increase their chances of survival there. And in some cases, you feel like, okay, this person is an asshole for doing that, but in other cases, you're like, if it wasn't one of them, it was going to be both of them, so it's a really tough choice sometimes within this story. So typically, I do not like to define an anime by its Japanese terminology, because and as far as I can tell, my primary audience are English-speaking people who do not speak Japanese primarily and have probably never went to Japan before. I'm speaking from a realm of the things we know already, such as genres. These are going to appeal to us. I just watched a shoujo, which is intended for teenage Japanese girls. I'm not a teenage Japanese girl, and I thought it was an alright show. Surprise, surprise, you believe it or not, I'm not a teenage Japanese girl. So what relevance does the shoujo have for us? However, 7 Seeds, I feel like it's very important for us to know that it is a shoujo, because you will be split if you're coming into this anime thinking, on one hand, oh, I like shoujo, I might like 7 Seeds, versus if you're thinking, oh, I like survival anime, let me watch 7 Seeds, and you're like an older guy or something like that. Because if you're coming into it in that regard, you probably will not like 7 Seeds. And I saw this anime just getting blasted on my anime list, and this is really the reason why I'm making the video here. I went to Mal, and I went to mark this off as completed, and then I checked the reviews. People were giving this a 1 out of 10. People were giving it a 3 out of 10. People were complaining, oh, there's not enough diarrhea. There's not enough constipation. What sort of survival show is this? And yes, their points are totally valid if you come into this thinking, oh, it's going to be like a Survivor Man, the anime. I wish we had that. Somebody please recommend me something that's like that. It's not some sort of battle royale game of death, but I wish we had some survival anime like that. But at the same time, this is a shoujo, and I like some shoujo anime. It just depends on the story and the character, how it's written, really. And as long as there's not like school life, I really don't like school anime. But that is the thing. A lot of people really aren't giving this the benefit of the doubt. On Mal, a lot of people are saying, oh, it's yet another Netflix shitty anime, but a lot of people don't think. They're criticizing this anime on Mal for it looking like a 2000s era shoujo, but it's an adaptation of a 2001 shoujo manga. Like, what are you really expecting here? And in terms of it having diarrhea and constipation and stuff, yeah, I mean, I don't know what's up with the fecal fetish here, but yes, this anime is missing out on a lot of aspects of survivalism, but at the same time, flesh-eating viruses and these bugs that can impale you and stuff like that. Obviously, this anime is not trying to be super realistic in terms of its survival aspect. And another thing is, I feel like, another reason why I'm doing this video is that I feel like it is far too early to judge this. So to be honest with you, the only people's opinion that I would say you can truly trust about the direction of where the story is going are going to be people who have completed the original manga to this, because they're going to know where it's going. Some people are saying, because I read some other reviews, some people are saying that the pacing is incredibly fast here, breakneck pacing speeds, and yeah, that could be the case, but from my watching it, I thought it was a decent show, but I cannot at all recommend this anime right now because it is incomplete, and it just, the way that the last episode ends, it ends on a cliffhanger, but it doesn't really, it's like there's going to be another episode, basically, but there's not. This anime came out in 2019, so we got other anime sequels, like we got Castlevania sequels, so I'm sure that Netflix is going to bring more of that out. We just have to wait. So I cannot recommend this anime at all until there's more seasons of it, because as of right now, it's just alright. You can watch it. You might enjoy it, especially if you're a person who has liked early 2000s shoujo in the past, but I feel like most people would probably be better off waiting and watching something else. What I would like to recommend and raise your awareness to, I can't say recommend, but I would like to raise your awareness to the manga. The manga, reading the reviews of that, a lot of people are calling it masterpieces, giving it very high scores. So I would recommend checking out the manga if you're into survivalism and also into shoujo, but if you are just into anime and you're not really into shoujo, I really have to give this one a pass. So let me know in the comments section below what you think about Seven Seeds. Do you think it's going to get any better? And also, I want to hear if you've read the manga, what do you think about the comparison there? And if you have any recommendations at all about survival anime, hit your boy up. Tell me some of these recommendations, or maybe some more manga recommendations. Not the biggest fan of the shoujo style, but if there are other manga out there that are not shoujo and not 35 volumes long, let me know about those as well, because I'm actually going to be starting a manga segment on the channel. Thinking about doing Manga Mondays, where I just read really short manga and talk about them, because I found like a gold mine of really short seinen manga that I'm going to start covering. It's like really short ones. So the first of the Manga Monday videos that I'm going to have out, which I'm expecting to be on the 9th of September, is going to be this manga that is heavily inspired by Berserk, but instead of it being about guts and these demons, it's following a black man in 1885 America, and he, instead of fighting against demons, he's fighting against flesh-eating monsters who are part of the KKK. It's really bizarre, and this guy is totally inspired by Berserk. He's got this gauntlet. He's a boxer, but one of his gauntlets, kind of like, you know, Guts had the amputee arm right there. He had the prosthetic arm. But his glove here has these containers in it for shotgun shells, and he just blasts people with it. He hits them in the head, and all 4 of the shotgun shells just explode all at once and just leaves nothing left behind there. So that's a pretty crazy manga that I've been reading, so stay tuned for that on Monday the 8th. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you later. Have an awesome day, everybody.